Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Winter Sowingville. I am in the thick of it. I wanted to stop and make a video inside of a video of all of the tips that I have while winter sowing. It feels like each year I come up with something new, and I just want to always be sure to pass that along because I want you to be as successful as I have been in the past, and I want to be successful this year winter sowing. So tip number one is going to be recycle your containers. I know that right now we're planting them, but as you start to open your containers, you do your grand reveal. Reuse your containers. Tip number two, if you have access to a hot glue gun or a wood burning tool, absolutely hands down use that to make your drainage holes in your container. This saves so much time. Last year I used a drill. It took forever. Using the wood burning tool, it was phenomenal. I could do one container in probably 20 seconds or less. Don't burn yourself, and do it outside in a well ventilated place. It will smoke and stink. That was from a viewer in this amazing community that we have on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much. Next tip is also from a viewer. Use a coffee filter, like old school Mr. Coffee. They sell them at the Dollar Tree. Not the coffee, but the filters. Put one in the bottom. My viewer said that it keeps slugs out. Great, great tip. Thank you. Tip number four, how this is kind of unruly and rough. I am taking the bottom of my water bottle and I am tamping it down so that the seeds have a good solid surface when I plant them. Tip number five is I go ahead and I re-spritz it. Already moisten the soil, but I just want to make sure that I have good even coverage. Tip number six, my best recommendation to you is to prepare ahead. What do I mean by that? I mean, have a day where you get all of your containers ready. You go through, you burn your holes, you cut them, you wash your ones from last year. You spend a full day ahead of seed starting time for winter sowing, and you get that done. I go through and I organize my seeds by when they are to be started indoors in these containers. So this is 8 to 10 weeks before my last frost. Then I take it a step farther. This is the part that I really want to recommend that you do. This is my best tip to you. Go through, write a few bits of information on the back of your seeds prior to starting your seeds. Prior to starting your winter sowing, you are going to set yourself up for success. When you're supposed to start it, how many weeks out from your last frost? If it needs light or darkness to germinate, which means when it says light, that means do not cover it. You can put cover, no cover. You need to know every single seed has a requirement. You need to know this. It is so important. Your seeds will not germinate if they need light. So, for example, this is a Long Island mammoth dill. If I plant this dill in a container and then I cover it up, it's not going to germinate because it needs light to germinate. Also, I want to know what plants are deer resistant. I now have a problem with deer. So I go through and I put deer resistant, so DR, and then on my container, I am putting a DR and I'm circling it. That's new this year. Tip number 7 is on the day that you are going to do your winter sowing, make sure you have bought your materials ahead. You need your soil, you need coffee liners, you need your duct tape, get a good quality duct tape, and you need a paint pen. I am not doing labels this year. I found these paint pens work phenomenally well, so I'm not doubling up. I wanted to show you. So I save these from year to year. And what I've started doing is tucking it in the seed pack. So next year, when I'm starting my seeds inside, I already have my label made. Make sense? Save and recycle. Here is an exact example of what I'm talking about. This is from my winter sowing last year. I saved it, put it back in this. So when I go to start these seeds indoors, I already have my label and I'm good. Next, on your day of winter sowing, the day is finally here. You've got your containers cut and burnt. You've got your coffee filters, you've got your soil. Go ahead and batch everything, meaning do big quantities. So I go ahead and fill as much as 1 5-gallon bucket full of soil mixed will do. I do that at one time and then I go back and do it again. I come down here and I get my duct tape. I've got my containers. I'm going to write on every single one of them with what I want to put on them. And then I am going to get my tape ready. And because I don't want to have to keep stopping between planting. So I sit down here and I do this. How many ever you want to do. Tip number, I've lost count. Have a bowl of soil so that when you do have to cover your seeds, if it does need dark to germinate, you have this and you can sprinkle over top of it, unless you are using something like vermiculite. Quantity of seeds per container. So gallon is usually 10 to 12. And the huge ones, these, I'm doing like 15 to 20, spacing them nicely. I do tend to just sprinkle and then I'm gonna thin them out. Does that make sense? And then the smaller containers like this, I may do 6. That's pushing it. So that's how many seeds I'm talking about. So the last thing I wanted to show you is how many, this is a 50-quart bag of my soil potting mix. It's Miracle Grow, and I wanted to show you how many containers it filled. So several of the gallon size. I've got 1, 2 half-gallon, 2 2-liters, a juice container, 3 of the big cat litter containers. All right, I am done with the tips for now. I'm sure I'm going to have more, but I need to close this out so I can get this uploaded and to you. I just finished round 2 of winter sowing, and I am nowhere near done. Just so you know, I am working on my winter sowing. I will have the video for you, maybe break it down in segments so it's not so much and so overwhelming. I hope you enjoyed these tips. Feel free to share in the comments. Please, please, please subscribe if you find value in this channel. I'm almost to 10,000 and subscribers, and I cannot believe you guys want to watch this channel. I just love it. I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Go out, get your hands dirty, sow some seeds, and I will see you soon. Take care.